Hello everyone, this is Mr. Feng with Week 3 Violin Lesson. This week we will start plucking and reading the G string and the E string sets of notes. Here on page 16 of our All for Strings book, we'll see number 13 marked as G and number 17 down here marked as C and E string. If we were to play with the cellos or the violas at the same time, they would be playing the C while the violins are playing the E. But in this case, I've crossed out C because on the violins we have an E string. The E string is the highest string on the violin, the thinnest string also, and the G is the lowest sounding string and also the thickest string. So this is what the G note looks like. It has two ledger lines, these are called ledger lines, with the bubble below the ledger line. Each time you see that, you'll recognize it as G, and we will pluck the G note. On the bottom here, we have the E string, where the bubble is in the top space, but right underneath the top line. That is how we know that is the E note, and each time we see the bubble, the note head, up on the top space, we will pluck the E string. This week's assignment is to pluck through the entire page 16 in addition to reviewing the previous page, page 15. Okay. The second item in our lesson this week is the bow hold. This is the most important component of playing the instrument because it's with the bow that's where the sound's produced. The bow makes the sound, and so it's crucial and super important that we make the right bow hold and we make the right motions with the arm. In this week's lesson, I went through the 4 steps of how to create the bow hold. Now the first step, we'll make a cup with our right hand. Notice that all the fingers are curled, and this is the most natural hand position. If we were to let the hand rest on our side of our bodies, relax, all the fingers are bent. When all the fingers are bent, that means that the joints are free and there are no stiff muscles here, and we don't want to squeeze and have any straight joints, or else we will tend to squeeze and create tension, and we'll get tired and we'll get sore, and then we won't play the bow correctly. But actually it's quite easy because you just need to relax when you put your hand on the bow. Okay, so step 1, we have our cup and we put the bent thumb underneath the rubber. So bent thumb underneath the rubber, and you'll see that my thumb is almost arched like the bottom of a claw. And we'll have our left hand here to hold on to the stick. So we're at the frog. This is the frog part. This is the rubber grip that many of your bows have. Put the bent thumb underneath the rubber grip. That's step 1. Bent thumb underneath the rubber grip. Step 2, we're going to take our middle 3 fingers, pointer, ring, and middle finger, and we're going to just gently let them rest on top of the stick. And they are flowing over the stick. They're not, the tips are not at the top of the stick, they're flowing over. So that's step 2, middle 3 fingers over the stick. Step 3, pinky tip on top of the stick. And you'll see that right now it almost looks as if I'm holding on to a very, very thin pen or pencil or cup. But with the pinky tip on top. The pinky tip has to be on top. This is what's very unique about the violin bow hold. And the viola bow hold too. So far all of my fingers are curled. You can see that. And step 4, the most important step of it all, relax. Only when you relax, then you're going to feel very comfortable holding on to the bow. And as for the motions, we started to put the bow on our shoulders to create the motions. And why the shoulder? Because this is the best beginning posture. We bend the arm in 2 places, the elbow and the wrists. And then we're going to create a straight downwards and upwards motion. We're going to start at the frog, and we're going to draw the bow downwards. You'll see that the elbow is bending and the wrist is bending. And then we're going to come up bow. And we're going to try to keep the same shape of our hands the whole time on the bow hold. Down bow, bending at the wrist, bending at the elbow, up bow. you'll see that my right shoulder is staying relaxed. Down bow, and we don't have to squeeze the stick. Remember, the stick is very light, very, very light. And up bow. And that's how we create the bow hold, and those are the motions for drawing the bow. Another quick review, 4 steps to creating our violin bow hold. Step 1, bent thumb underneath the rubber grip. Step 2, middle 3 fingers over the stick. Step 3, pinky tip on top of the stick. Step 4, the most important step of it all, relax. If you have any questions, you can always go to page 4 of your All for Strings book to see a diagram and some more detailed instruction about how to create the bow hold. Happy practicing!